A blessed day, everyone. I am Jamela, and welcome to Book and I. It is a program that will look on different books and their insights, which will help us to grow more in faith and practice. Last time, we discussed and learned a lot from the book Basic Christianity by Mr. John Stott. Today, a classical book entitled Mere Christianity was on our list. It is based on a series of talks Mr. Lewis gave on BBC Radio year 1941 to 1944. In dealing with this book, be ready and brace yourself for a philosophical approach regarding faith tradition of Christianity. Mr. Clive Staple Lewis, or widely known as C.S. Lewis, was one of the intellectual giants of the 20th century and arguably one of the most influential Christian writer of his time. He is an Irish-born scholar, novelist, and author who is also a humble layman at the Church of England, and he greatly defended the Christian faith in a logical and approachable fashion for his unbelieving neighbor. And Mere Christianity was the proof of it. Mere not because it belittles Christianity, but because it draws attention to the simple and essential aspects of it. The book Mere Christianity, like the first book that we have, was divided into 4 parts. Its contents were Book 1, Right and Wrong as the Clue to the Meaning of the Universe, Book 2, which is all about what Christians believe, Book 3, which revolves on Christian behavior, and lastly, Book 4, which is entitled Beyond Personality, or the First Steps to the Doctrine of the Trinity. With that in mind, let's move forward. The Book 1 opens up with the idea of the law of human nature, which pertains to some sort of standard that is innate in us, where we appeal to when someone acted unfairly, and deep inside, we know that we ought to obey to, but fail to keep all the way. This law of human nature, or also called as moral law, is something that is beyond us, and something that is beyond actual facts of human behavior. A real law that we did not invent, but we know we ought to comply to. And since this law is innate in us and beyond human invention, it must have come somewhere else. There must have been a lawgiver behind it, an all-powerful being who stands outside the confines of material space and time and reveals itself to humans through moral law. There are rival concepts of God all around the world, and as a Christian, we are told by the author to not believe that every other religion was wrong all throughout, that even the queerest one has a hint of truth in itself. But of course, just like in arithmetic, there is only one answer to everything, one absolute truth for all, and that is what we believe in. That is Christianity. Moving forward, the author discusses the 2 main divisions of theories about the all-powerful being's identity. The first group were the pantheists, who believed that the all-powerful being, who is God, was neither good or evil. They also hold on to the belief that God is universe, meaning everything on earth was divine. On the other hand, the other group who believed that God created everything on earth, yet He is distinct from it, and thus is good, and wants human to work hard for the better place of the universe, includes Christianity. Christians also believe to the existence of the ultimate evil, the devil. However, in Christianity, evil isn't equal to good. Evil was actually spoiled good, or perversion or corruption of goodness. Looking around the world, it is obvious that the good has been corrupted into evil almost everywhere. Now, in an attempt to resolve the apparent contradiction in the existence of a good God, which allows evil things to exist, the author argues about the gift of free will that God has given to us. Obviously, we choose the opposite of what we ought to do, And the world we are living in now is the proof of that. And as we are all guilty that we are not doing what we ought to do and run after things that will not give us satisfaction, for apart from God, there is really nothing else, God provides a way for us to be truly virtuous. And Jesus Christ, who is the cornerstone of Christian religion, was introduced. While there are many different Christian religions who worship Christ in different ways, the author argues to the basic facts of Christ's existence, and therefore can all attain salvation. Moral rules are direction for running the human machine. Every moral rule is there to prevent a breakdown or a strain or a friction in the running of that machine. It doesn't stop us from being happy, but rather stops us from the danger that lies ahead. And morality in the book is concerned in three things. First, fair play and harmony between individuals. Second, harmonizing the insides of each individual. And lastly, to point us to what man was made of. All the virtues mentioned in the book from the Christian faith is concerned with these 3 points. And we are ought not just to believe them nor to hold on to them, but rather to practice them. Morality is actually concerned with the act of choice, and a simple psychoanalysis cannot cure someone whose choice is different from what he must do. Furthermore, by practicing these moral codes, we get to see clearer the worst in us, which will lead us to defend on the one who is able to get us through it. And that is what lies behind Christian behavior. Not just Christianity teaches us rules and moral codes to follow, but beyond that, to see ourselves in light of it, and to understand that truly it is God who is working in us to will and to act and to obey. In this final book, the author turns to theology, which is the science of God. He told the readers about the importance of theology, that just like someone who needs a map to go to his destination, so do us to know God. Without it, we will all be just filled with muddled ideas about God. And of course, if only the gospel can save us from condemnation, and right understanding is essential for it, is there any salvation if we have perceived it wrongly? God is one being existing in 3 persons: the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And these 3 were all unitedly working in the lives of each Christian. God is not time-bounded. The reason why He can attend to us all is because, unlike us, who exist in time, space, and matter, He is beyond it all. What is impossible with man is possible with God. As we cannot earn our salvation, the second person of the Trinity came into flesh to enable man to become sons of God. This is what the author called good infection. Through Him, every Christian becomes little Christ, and the whole purpose of becoming Christian is nothing else but this. Now, being a Christian is both hard and easy. Hard because we need to submit ourselves to God who will get rid of our old selves, but easy than trying to earn our salvation in our own hands. Again, just like in the previous book, we come to the point of counting the cost. When we submit ourselves to the Lordship of Jesus Christ, surely He will make us nearer to perfection as much as possible even before we leave this world. God will not give us something less to conform us to perfection, however painful the way might be. After all, the question is not about what we want us to be, but what He intended us to be when He made us. And it is far greater than what we want and far greater than what we have ever imagined. The job of perfecting us will not be completed in this life, but what He means is getting us as far as possible even before death. There is no easier road in life. It's either we experience suffering in this lifetime or condemnation in eternity. The author tries his very best to present the Christian faith in a logical way. Now, it leaves us to two choices. Are we going to take it or leave it? Let me end it in the words of the author himself. I am trying here to prevent anyone saying the really foolish thing that people often say about him. I am ready to accept Jesus as a great moral teacher, but I don't accept his claim to be God. That is the one thing we must not say. A man who was merely a man and said the sort of things Jesus said would not be a great moral teacher. He would either be a lunatic, on a level with the man who says he is a poached egg, or else he would be the devil of hell. You must make your choice. Either this man was and is the Son of God, or else a madman or something worse. And that is the book we get to discuss today. I hope you learned something and may the peace of Christ be with you all. This is Book and I.